So the front page of your review, once you're done for Chapter 3, should look like this. We talked about all of these things Thursday when we did your note card. But remember, a translation is just a slide. Skew lines are lines that do not lie on the same plane, and they also do not intersect. Perpendicular lines are lines that intersect to form right angles. And parallel lines are two lines that lie on the same plane and do not intersect. The next section is straight from the theorems that we learned on Thursday. Well, we didn't learn them on Thursday. We reviewed them on Thursday. But if two lines are perpendicular, four right angles are formed. Two adjacent acute angles that form a right angle are complementary. If two angles form a linear pair and are also congruent, they must be right angles, and all right angles are congruent. So go ahead and check the first page of your review. If you did not get these correct, please fix them, and then let me know if you have any questions. All right, second page of the Chapter 3 review. Line AF and line DC appear to be what? Skew, very good. Line AD and line BC appear to be parallel, good. And line DG and GH appear to be perpendicular, good. Do you guys need any more explanation on those? I think the easiest way to do this is to highlight the lines that you're talking about and then go from there. If you're unsure what these lines are, look back to the vocab on the first page. They're all defined for you. What are your questions? All right, let's move along. So in this diagram, line G and line E are perpendicular, and line G and line H are perpendicular. No, line G and F are perpendicular, sorry. Decide whether enough information is given to conclude that the statement is true, and explain your reasoning. So angle 6 and angle 10, are those congruent? Yes. How do we know? They're both what? Yeah, they're both right angles. Okay, angle 6 and angle 9. We're going to say not enough info. Next one is 7 and 11. Yes, and it's the same reason. They're both right. So this goes back to that theorem we learned, that all right angles are congruent. What are your questions on this section? So number 15, we're looking at angle 12 and angle 15. What's the relationship there? Same side interior, so that's D. Angle 10 and angle 13. Also D, same side interior. Angle 9 and angle 16. Careful. Nope. B, they're definitely alternate, but they have to be exterior because they're outside of the two lines. Good. 10 and 14. Nope. A, those are corresponding. They're both in the same position related to the intersection. Number 18 is angle 12 and angle 16. That's also A. Good. And then 10 and 15. C, those are alternate interior. Inside the two lines, different sides of the transversal. Questions on this section? All right, we will continue moving right along. The next section says, is there enough information to conclude that the lines are parallel? If yes, explain. So 21, what do you think? Can we say that the lines are parallel? Yes. Why? What type of angles are these? They're in the same position. They're acute. But I mean like corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior. These are corresponding angles. So if the corresponding angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. So your reasoning is yes, because the corresponding angles are congruent. What about 22? There's not enough information. Those are just vertical angles. Vertical angles are always congruent whether you have parallel lines or not. So that's just a simple no. What are your questions? Alright, we are supposed to find the measure of the numbered angles. So we're looking for angle 1 here. What type of angles are these? Alternate exterior. And what do I know about alternate exterior angles? They're the same. So your answer is 100 degrees. Good. The next one, these are alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles are also congruent. So the measure of angle 2 in this case is 120 degrees. These are same side interior. Same side interior, that's the oddball. That's where they're not congruent. They're actually supplementary, so I have to do 180 minus 115. That's going to give me 65 degrees. Number 26, these are alternate interiors. Alternate interiors are congruent. What's your question? 25 is different because those are same side interiors. Same side interiors, you take 180 minus the one you know. That'll tell you the one you don't know. Alright, back to 27. Those are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are congruent. And then last one, here's another oddball. What type are these? Yeah, these are supplementary because they're same side interior. So when I subtract them, I'm going to get 60 degrees. So notice the two oddballs, 25 and 28. And look at how those are different than the other ones. So if you have alternate interiors, alternate exteriors, or corresponding angles, you know that they're automatically just congruent. The only time you have to do more work is when they're same side interiors. So be careful on those. What are your questions? No questions? All right. In this section, we are asked to decide whether the white figure is a translation of the shaded figure. Remember, a translation is just a slide. So is number 29 just a slide? No. There's clearly some sort of rotation going on here. So this one is a no. What about number 30? Yes. What about 31? No. It looks like the white one's a little smaller, so no. Questions? Alright, same thing in this next one. Is one figure a translation of the other? There's actually only one of them that's a yes. Do you guys know which one? Yeah, the truck's in the middle. This one's a yes, this one's a no, and a no. This one is a no because it's clearly like some sort of a flipping thing happening. And then one of the bees is different size than the other, so. Trucks are the only one that could possibly be a translation. What are your guys' questions? No questions? Alright, next we're going to look at actually describing these translations. So remember, when you're looking at a translation like the one on number 35, you always start with the one that does not have the prime next to it. That's the original. And then the image is the new one. That's the A prime. So we want to see how we go from the orange dot to the black dot, basically. So in words, how would you describe that? You have to go right how many? 2 times, and then you go up, it looks like 3 times. So in words, I would just say right 2 and up 3. But you also have to do it in coordinate notation. That's where you use the x's and the y's. Right 2, that affects your x value. So I'm going to take your original x and you got to add 2 to it. Up affects your y value, so you'd start with the y and you'd add 3 to it to move it up. Any questions? 36 is the same way. We are starting with any of the letters, really, that start with the original, the Q, R, or the S, and then you're counting to see how you would get to that same letter, but the prime version. So I'm just going to go from Q to Q. It looks like you go left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So left 5, down 5. So in coordinate notation, left is from your x, and you would have to subtract. Whoops, 5, right? And down is from your y, and you also have to subtract. So x minus 5 and also y minus 5. Questions on those? Now, we talked about those when we did your note card. You should have that somewhere on your note card that right you're adding to the x, left you're subtracting from the x, up you're adding to the y, and down you're subtracting from the y. If those did not make it onto your note card, I would definitely spend some time between now and Friday getting them on your note card, because that's something that it makes sense when you look at it, but you might draw a blank when you're on your own. So I would definitely get those down. And then let's talk about these equations. So what type of relationship do those angles have? This guy and this guy. Are they alternate interiors? Okay, so the answer is no, they're not alternate interiors. What'd you say? They're what type? Corresponding. Good. Okay, and corresponding angles are congruent. So set them equal. And then solve to get your x value. All right, what type are these? Same side interior. Same side interior is the oddball because they add to what? 180. They do not equal each other. If you put them equal to each other, you will get the wrong answer on this one. Alright, once you have them added to 180, you can solve for x by subtracting 100 from each side. That gives us 4x equals 80. And then when you divide both sides by 4, you get that x equals 20. So that is chapter 3. Like I said at the beginning of class, you should already have this note card. We spent a lot of time on Thursday making that note card. Does anyone have any questions, though, related to the note card or to this review in particular?